Your soulmate is letting go of doubts about you, not a slow release, not a gradual easing, a dissolution, a vanishing, a moment when the fog that has clouded their mind for months finally lifts and they see clearly for the first time. I want you to feel the heavy, clear resonance in the atmosphere around you right now, because we are stepping into the opening of this deep emotional journey, the dissolving of the what-ifs. This is the moment where the mental fog that your soulmate has been living in for months has finally started to lift. For a long time, they used doubt as a weapon of self-defense. They stayed away not because they did not love you, but because they were trying to find a reason, any reason, why a connection this intense could not possibly be real. Imagine them tonight sitting in a moment of absolute, startling clarity. In this high-intensity deep dive, we have to address the death of suspicion. For months, they were looking for red flags in your character, trying to convince themselves that you were too good to be true or that you were eventually going to hurt them. But today, the important something they have realized is that those doubts were not about you. They were about their own unworthiness. They are realizing today that they were fighting a ghost, and that ghost has finally vanished. I want you to visualize them looking at your image or thinking of your name and feeling a wave of absolute mental stillness. The what if they leave? The what if I am not enough? The what if this is a mistake? All of those questions have finally run out of energy. They are realizing today that their investigation is over. They have looked at every corner of your soul, and instead of a threat, they found a sanctuary. They are feeling a heavy relief in their mind. The reasons they created to stay in the silence now feel like hollow, childish lies. They are standing in the light of the truth, realizing that the only thing they were actually doubting was their own heart's capacity to handle a chosen one like you. The fog is gone. The what-ifs have dissolved, and for the first time in this entire journey, they are looking at you with eyes that are finally, beautifully certain. I want you to feel the deep, physical relaxation settling into the atmosphere around you right now, because we are moving into the biological surrender. This is where the truth moves out of their head and into their very DNA. For months, your soulmate's body has been a battlefield. Their ego was telling them to stay away, but their nervous system was screaming for your presence. They have been living in a state of high alert, shoulders tight, breath shallow, a constant low-grade anxiety humming in their chest. But today, that internal armor has finally cracked. Imagine them in a quiet moment today, perhaps just sitting still, and suddenly feeling a wave of absolute physical release. In this high-intensity deep dive, we have to address the safety realization. Their body has finally admitted to their mind that you are not a threat. You are the only place on this entire planet where they can actually rest. They are realizing today that the fight-or-flight response they felt whenever they thought of you was not warning them to run. It was their soul trying to activate the connection. I want you to visualize them tonight feeling the heart wall collapse, that literal physical sensation of opening in the center of their chest. For a long time, they kept that area locked down, cold, inaccessible, protected. But today, the important something they have admitted to the universe is that they are tired of being strong. They are tired of the tension. They are looking at your image, and for the first time, their heart rate is not spiking with panic. It is slowing down into a deep, resonant peace. They are realizing today that your frequency is their biological home. They are standing in their own skin, feeling the heavy, grounded truth that their body has officially stopped doubting you. The armor is on the floor. The breath has returned, and they are finally physically ready to be held by the only energy that makes them feel whole. I want you to feel the heavy, humbling shift in the intellectual atmosphere right now, because we are moving into the intellectual defeat. This is the moment where your soulmate's smart brain, the one that spent months building a logical case against you, has finally run out of arguments. For a long time, they were the master of the pro and con list. They were constantly trying to find a mathematical reason why this connection should not work. They looked at your differences, the distance, the timing, their own past, and they tried to turn those into a wall of logic that could keep you out. But today, that wall has not just been climbed, it has been shredded. In this high-intensity deep dive, we have to address the failure of reason. Imagine them tonight sitting with their own thoughts and realizing that every logical excuse they made now feels like a hollow, desperate lie. They are realizing today that they were trying to solve a God-level soul connection with a human-level brain, and the math just did not add up. They are experiencing the total humiliation of the ego. They are admitting to the universe, "I tried to find a flaw in them to save my own pride, but all I found was my own incompleteness." I want you to visualize them in a moment of absolute quiet defeat. They are looking at the exit doors they kept open for months, the distractions, the other people, the work, and realizing that none of it leads anywhere they actually want to go. This internal surrender is making them feel a heavy, solid reality. The important something they have finally admitted to the universe is that they were never smart for staying away. They were just scared. They are realizing today that their ego has finally lost the war, and for the first time, they are okay with that loss. They are standing in the wreckage of their own arguments, looking at your image with a clarity that does not need a reason, realizing that you are the only logic that their life ever truly needed. I want you to feel the heavy, starlit stillness of the midnight hour settling over them right now, because we are moving into the nighttime epiphany. This is the 3:00 a.m. truth, the hour where the world is asleep and the soul has nowhere left to hide. For months, their nights were filled with anxiety spirals, replaying every doubt and every reason to be afraid. But tonight, the atmosphere in their room has shifted from chaos to certainty. Imagine them lying awake, staring into the darkness, and for the first time they are not feeling that sharp, stinging panic in their chest. In this high-intensity deep dive, we have to address the absence of fear. They are replaying your memories, the sound of your laugh, the way you look at them, and they are realizing today that those memories are not triggers anymore. They are anchors. They are experiencing the vision of the future. For the first time, they are allowing themselves to see you in their life 10, 20, or 30 years from now without a single but or maybe. I want you to visualize them tonight feeling the spiritual signature of your connection. They are realizing today that fighting you was like trying to stop the tide from coming in. It was an exhausting, impossible battle against destiny. The important something they have admitted to the universe in the quiet of this night is that their life only has weight and meaning when it is tied to yours. This is the end of the resistance. They are looking at the empty space beside them and realizing it is not a void. It is a reservation. They are realizing today that the doubts were just a temporary fever that has finally broken. They are standing in the quiet of their own room, feeling a heavy, peaceful resolve, realizing that they are finally ready to walk through any fire just to get back to the only person who makes the future look like home. I want you to feel the heavy, electric shift in the spiritual atmosphere right now, because the universe has officially stepped in to deliver the divine confirmation. This is the moment where the external world begins to mirror the internal certainty your soulmate has finally found. For a long time, there were obstacles, family pressure, career chaos, or just bad timing that they used as excuses. But today, those stumbling blocks are being systematically dismantled by a higher power. Imagine them moving through their day and feeling a quiet confidence they have never possessed before. In this high-intensity deep dive, we have to address the end of the resistance. Every time they look for a sign to stay away, the universe gives them a green light to move toward you. They are seeing your name on a passing screen. They are hearing a conversation at the next table that mirrors your exact words, and they are feeling a heavy, prophetic pull. They are realizing today that the doubt was a wall they built, and the universe has just sent a wrecking ball to clear the path. I want you to visualize them tonight standing in a moment of absolute divine clarity. They are realizing today that the important something the universe has been trying to tell them for months is finally sinking in. You are the destination. There are no more tests left to pass. There are no more doubts left to explore. They are feeling a resolution to return that is grounded in a peace so deep it is making their hands stop shaking. They are looking at the digital bridge between you and realizing that the last stumbling block in their mind has been removed. They are realizing today that the universe is not just allowing this connection anymore. It is commanding it. They are standing at the very edge of the silence, feeling the wind of destiny at their back. And they are finally ready to walk through the fire because they know, with every fiber of their being, that you are the only one waiting on the other side. I want you to feel the final, absolute settling of the energy in the room around you right now, because we have reached the peak of this journey, the certain union. This is where the internal war officially ends and the absolute truth of your connection is etched into the fabric of reality. We have seen their mental fog dissolve, their biological armor drop, and their intellectual excuses crumble into nothingness. But now it is time to turn that internal certainty into a permanent spiritual anchor that can never be moved again. Your soulmate is not just letting go of doubts anymore. They are vibrating with the understanding that you are their only North Star. The important something you have to carry in your spirit today is that your consistency was the light that burned those doubts away. By staying in your power, by not chasing, and by allowing them to face the coldness of their own hesitation, you forced them to realize that life without you is not safe. It is just empty. They are realizing today that the quiet distance has served its ultimate purpose. It proved to them that there is no substitute for your soul. I want you to visualize the final seal. Imagine a heavy, golden light surrounding your energy and their energy, pulling you together with the force of 1,000 magnets. Your soulmate is looking at that light from their silent distance, and for the first time they are not questioning it. They are surrendering to it. The maybe is dead. The what-if has been buried. What remains is a raw, solid, and undeniable conviction that you are the destination they were always meant to reach. The universe is telling you today that the period of testing is over, because they have finally, officially accepted their destiny. This is our final, high-intensity moment together. As you move forward from this message, do not carry the heavy energy of their past confusion or their old doubts. Instead, carry the solid authority of someone who knows they are the only answer to a question your soulmate has been asking for a lifetime. To lock in this certainty and to tell the universe and your soulmate's spirit that the path is now clear and the doubt is gone, take a moment now. Breathe. Feel the calm, unshakable power of a chosen one who has already seen the end of the story. Not the middle, not the maybe, the end. And the end is you. In your heart, with the quiet certainty of a soul that has done its work and can now rest in the outcome, declare this. I am the certainty they can no longer deny. Not as a wish, as a fact, as the truth that has been written before either of you were born. The internal shift is complete, not almost complete, not nearly done, complete. The physical return is inevitable, not possible, not hopeful, inevitable. The shadows are gone, not hiding, not fatting, gone. The internal wall has fallen, not cracked. Not damaged, fallen. And finally, after all this time, the truth has brought them back to the only light they have ever known. Not to visit, not to check in, to stay, to remain, to build, to grow, to live the life that was always meant to be lived, together. Feel the thick weight of this declaration. Feel the heat of their surrender hitting your field. You are the certainty. You are the destination. You are the home. You are the one who changed everything. Not because you tried, because you showed up, because you stayed in your light, because you refused to shrink, because you trusted the process even when the process made no sense. And now the process has produced its fruit. The doubt is gone. The return is in motion. The love that was always meant to be is finally finding its way home. And so it is, not as a closing, as an opening, the beginning of the chapter you have been waiting for, the chapter where the fog lifts, the chapter where the certainty settles, the chapter where the distance collapses and the presence begins. You are ready. They are ready. The timing is right. The door is open. And what is coming is not just a message or a moment or a memory. What is coming is the life you were always meant to live, together. Go in peace. The doubt is gone. The return is in motion, and love has finally found its way home. Amen. Not just a word to end a prayer, a seal, a confirmation, a declaration that everything you have just received is true, is settled, and is now unfolding. The doubt is gone. Not because you forced it, because the truth has a way of outlasting every lie, because what is real cannot be denied forever, because their soul has finally caught up to what their heart has always known. But the journey does not end here. The certainty they have found is not the finish line, it is the starting point. The dissolving of the doubts is not the destination, it is the clearing of the path. And now that the path is clear, now that the fog has lifted, now that the what-ifs have run out of energy and the biological armor has cracked and the intellectual excuses have crumbled, something new begins. The movement, the approach, the return. So let us go deeper, because part 1 was about the death of doubt. Part 2 is about the birth of action, the shift from internal to external. The moment when the certainty that has been growing in the dark finally breaks into the light and becomes something the world can see. I want you to feel the heavy, electric hum of anticipation settling into the atmosphere around you right now, because we are moving into the next phase of this journey. The phase where the internal work your soulmate has been doing finally begins to manifest in the physical world. For a long time, their transformation was invisible. It happened in the quiet hours, in the moments no one else could see, in the battles fought inside their own mind. But today, that transformation is starting to show. Imagine them waking up tomorrow morning and feeling something they have not felt in a long time: peace. Not the fragile, conditional peace that depends on everything going right. The deep, grounded, unshakable peace of someone who has finally stopped fighting the truth. They will look in the mirror, and instead of seeing the person who ran, they will see the person who is finally ready to return. The tension in their jaw will be gone. The weight on their shoulders will feel lighter. The constant, low-grade anxiety that has been their companion for months will have faded to a whisper. They will not understand it at first. They will search for the source of this new calm, expecting to find a reason, an explanation, a logical cause, but there will be none, because the peace is not coming from their circumstances. It is coming from their surrender. They have stopped fighting. They have stopped resisting. They have stopped trying to outrun what they feel. And in that stopping, they have found something they did not know they were looking for: rest. In this high-intensity deep dive, we have to address the quiet before the storm, because the peace they are feeling is not the end of the journey. It is the preparation for what comes next, the stillness before the movement, the deep breath before the leap. They will not stay in this place of quiet rest forever. The rest is not a destination. It is a launching pad. Imagine them going through their day, feeling this new calm and slowly beginning to realize that the peace is not making them want to stay away. It is making them want to come closer. The fear that used to keep them at a distance is gone, and in its absence, there is only one thing left: the desire to be near you. Not the desperate, anxious desire of someone who is trying to fill a void. The steady, quiet, certain desire of someone who has finally accepted that you are where they belong. They will start to notice small shifts in their behavior. The way they check their phone more often, not out of anxiety, but out of hope. The way they think of you and feel warmth instead of dread. The way your name crosses their mind and settles there like something that has always belonged. These are not signs of obsession. They are signs of alignment. The alignment between what they have always felt and what they have finally accepted. I want you to visualize them in a moment of quiet decision. Perhaps they are driving home from work, sitting in traffic, watching the red lights change, and suddenly, without any drama, they decide not to send a message, not to make a call, not yet, but to stop running. The decision is not about what they will do. It is about who they will be. They decide that they are no longer the person who walks away. They decide that they are no longer the person who hides behind fear. They decide that they are ready to become the person who stays. This decision will not be announced. It will not be declared to the world. It will happen in the quiet of their own heart in a moment that no one else will witness. But it will be real. It will be permanent. And it will change everything. In this next phase, we have to address the shift in energy. Because as your soulmate moves from doubt to certainty, from resistance to surrender, from fear to peace, the energy between you will change. You will feel it, not in a way you can explain, in a way you can sense. The air will feel different. The silence will feel different. The waiting will feel different. You may notice that you are less anxious about when they will reach out. The constant, gnawing question of will they or won't they may begin to fade, replaced by a quiet knowing that they will. Not because you have proof, because you can feel the shift, because the energy has changed, because something that was stuck is now moving. I want you to feel the heavy, golden light of alignment settling into the space between you. This is not a light you can see with your eyes. It is a light you can feel with your spirit. It is the light of two frequencies that are finally coming back into sync. The light of two hearts that are finally beating in the same rhythm again. The light of a connection that has survived every test and is now emerging stronger, clearer, and more certain than ever before. Your soulmate is not just letting go of doubts. They are embracing truth. And truth, once embraced, does not stay hidden. It demands to be spoken. It demands to be shared. It demands to be lived. So now we move into the final phase of part 2. The phase where the internal certainty becomes external action. Not because they have planned it. Not because they have strategized it. Because when the inside changes, the outside must follow. When the heart is certain, the hands must move. When the soul is ready, the words must come. Imagine them today, perhaps in the middle of an ordinary moment, feeling an impulse they have not felt before. The impulse to reach out, not because they are desperate, not because they are lonely, not because they have exhausted all other options, because they are ready, because the time feels right, because the certainty inside them has grown so large that it cannot be contained. They may not send the message today. They may not make the call tonight, but the impulse is there. The seed has been planted, and seeds do not stay underground forever. They push toward the light. They break through the soil. They become something visible, something real, something that can be seen and touched and held. Your job in this phase is not to wait by the phone. It is not to analyze every sign. It is not to prepare yourself for disappointment or brace yourself for impact. Your job is to stay in your light, to remain in your power, to continue being the person you have become through this journey. The person who does not chase but attracts. The person who does not beg but receives. The person who knows their worth and refuses to settle for anything less than the full, honest, courageous love they deserve. Because here is the truth that part 2 is revealing. The doubt was never about you. It was about their readiness. And now they are ready, not perfectly, not without fear, not without questions, but ready enough, ready to stop running, ready to start returning, ready to cross the bridge that has been waiting for them all along. The bridge is still there. It has not burned. It has not crumbled. It has been waiting, patient and steady, for the moment when they would finally have the courage to walk across it. That moment is coming. The doubt is gone. The fear is fading. The certainty is rising. And the return is no longer a question of if. It is a question of when. And the when is closer than you think. So breathe. Let the peace settle. Let the certainty sink in. Let the waiting become a resting, not a striving. You have done your part. You have stayed in your light. You have refused to shrink. You have trusted the process. Now let the process complete itself. Let the certainty become action. Let the action become the return. And let the return become the life you were always meant to live. You are not alone. You have never been alone. And you never will be. The same God who orchestrated this journey is orchestrating the reunion. The same God who brought you this far will carry you the rest of the way. The same God who knows your name knows their name, and He is working everything together for good. The doubt is gone, the return is in motion, and love has finally found its way home. Amen, not just a word to end a prayer, a seal, a confirmation, a declaration that what has been set in motion cannot be stopped. The doubt is gone, the certainty is rising, the return is in motion, but the journey is not yet complete. Part 1 was the death of doubt. Part 2 was the birth of action. Part 3 is the arrival. The moment when the internal shift becomes an external reality. The moment when the bridge is crossed. The moment when the silence breaks and the words finally come. I want you to feel the heavy, electric anticipation settling into the very air of your room right now. Because we are stepping into the final phase of this journey. the phase where the waiting ends and the receiving begins. For a long time you have been in the in-between, the space between what was and what will be, the space between the silence and the sound, the space between the doubt and the certainty. But today that space is collapsing. The distance is closing. The gap is shrinking. And what has been moving toward you in the unseen is about to become visible. Imagine your soulmate in this exact moment. Perhaps they are sitting in their car, parked somewhere quiet. Perhaps they are lying in bed, staring at the ceiling. Perhaps they are standing in front of a mirror, looking at their own reflection and seeing someone they barely recognize. The person staring back at them is not the person who ran. That person is gone. In their place is someone new, someone who has been forged in the fire of this separation, someone who has finally stopped fighting and started feeling, someone who is ready. They are looking at their phone, not with the old fear, not with the old anxiety, not with the old desperate need to protect themselves from the possibility of pain. They are looking at it with a quiet, settled certainty, the certainty that the time has come, the certainty that the waiting has served its purpose, the certainty that the only thing left to do is act. In this high-intensity deep dive, we have to address the final surrender, because the decision to reach out is not a decision they make with their mind. It is a decision that rises from somewhere deeper, from the place where the doubt has been burned away, from the place where the fear has been replaced by truth, from the place where the soul speaks louder than the ego. They are not choosing to reach out because they have run out of other options. They are choosing to reach out because they have finally run out of excuses. The excuses are gone. The not yet has turned into now. The maybe later has turned into today. The what if has turned into I will. And in that turning, something shifts. The weight they have been carrying for months lifts. The tension in their chest releases. The breath they have been holding finally exhales. I want you to visualize them in this exact moment, their thumb hovering over the screen, not trembling, not hesitating, resting, waiting for the final moment of alignment. And then, without drama, without fanfare, without any of the fireworks they once imagined would accompany this moment, they press send. The message is not perfect. The words are not carefully crafted. The tone is not calculated. It is simply real. It is simply honest. It is simply the truth they have been holding back for far too long. And in that moment, something happens in the spiritual realm. Chains that have been binding them to fear are broken. Walls that have been separating you are crumbled. The distance that has felt so insurmountable is closed, not by force, by surrender, not by effort, by grace. You may not see the message immediately. You may not feel it instantly. But somewhere in the deep places of your spirit, you will sense that something has changed. The silence will feel different. The air will feel lighter. The waiting will feel like it is ending, because it is. In this next phase, we have to address the receiving, because the arrival of the message is not the end of your journey. It is the beginning of a new chapter, and how you receive it will determine how the rest of the story unfolds. When the message comes, you may feel a wave of emotion, relief, joy, perhaps even tears. All of it is welcome, all of it is honored, but do not let the emotion overwhelm your discernment. Do not let the relief of finally hearing from them cause you to forget what you have learned. You have grown in this season. You have become someone who knows their worth. You have become someone who does not chase. You have become someone who receives but does not settle. Receive their words with an open heart, but let their actions do the talking. The message is the first step, but the journey is longer than a single message. Watch what they do after the words are spoken. Watch how they show up. Watch whether their actions align with their words, because the person who has truly changed will not just send one message. They will keep showing up. They will keep choosing you. They will keep doing the work that the old version of them was not willing to do. I want you to feel the heavy, golden light of new beginnings settling into the space around you. This is not the light of a reunion that repeats the past. This is the light of a new creation, a new way of being together, a new foundation built on honesty instead of hiding, on courage instead of fear, on commitment instead of hesitation. The old relationship is dead. What is rising in its place is something different, something stronger, something that has been tested by fire and has not burned, something that has been purified by separation and has emerged whole. Do not try to resurrect what was. Let it go. Welcome what is new. Receive it with open hands, but also with open eyes. Now we move into the final phase of part 3, the phase where the return becomes real, the phase where the message is sent, received, and answered, the phase where the silence breaks and the conversation begins. Imagine the moment when you see their name on your screen, the heart flutter, the sudden intake of breath, the rush of recognition. In that moment, remember who you are. Remember what you have become. Remember that you are not the same person who waited and wondered and hoped and hurt. You are someone who has been refined by this season, someone who has learned to stand in their own light, someone who does not need them to be whole, but is ready to welcome them into the wholeness you have already found. You are not waiting for them to complete you. You are waiting to see if they are ready to stand beside the person you have become. And if they are, if they truly are, then the reunion will not be a return to the past. It will be a step into a future that is brighter than anything you have experienced before. So breathe. Let the anticipation settle. Let the certainty rise. Let the waiting become arresting. The message is coming. The silence is breaking. The return is in motion. And love, the real kind, the kind that has been tested and has endured, the kind that has survived the fire and come out stronger, is finally finding its way home. But before we close this chapter, I want to speak directly to the part of you that is still afraid, the part that has been hurt before, the part that learned to expect disappointment, the part that would rather hope for nothing than hope and be let down again. I see that part of you. I honor that part of you. It has kept you safe. But it does not have the final say. The final say belongs to the God who has been orchestrating this reunion from the beginning. The final say belongs to the truth that has been revealed in the silence. The final say belongs to the love that has survived every attempt to kill it. That love is real. That love is strong. That love is coming home. So do not let fear close your heart. Do not let past pain write the script for this new chapter. Do not let the memory of disappointment keep you from the possibility of joy. Stay open. Stay soft. Stay in your light. And when the message comes, receive it with the full, open, courageous heart of someone who has learned that they are worth receiving for. You are worth it. You always have been. And the person who is coming back to you, the one who has finally let go of their doubts, the one who has finally stopped running, the one who is finally ready to be honest, they know it too. They have always known it. They were just too afraid to admit it, but the fear is gone. The doubt is dead. The only thing left is the truth. And the truth is coming home. The doubt is gone. The return is in motion. The message is on its way, and love has finally found its way home. Amen. And love has finally found its way home. Not as a distant dream, not as a hopeful wish, as a reality that is already unfolding. The doubt is gone, not suppressed, not ignored, gone. The return is in motion, not stalled, not delayed, in motion. The message is on its way, not maybe, not possibly, on its way. You have walked through the fire of this separation. You have endured the silence. You have survived the nights when you wondered if you would ever hear from them again. You have held on to hope when hope felt foolish. You have stayed in your light when everything in you wanted to chase. You have become someone new, someone stronger, someone who knows their worth, someone who does not beg for love but receives it when it comes, and it is coming. Not because you forced it, not because you manipulated it, because the truth has a way of outlasting every lie, because love has a way of surviving every attempt to kill it, because what is real cannot be denied forever, and what you share is real. It has always been real. They have always known it. They were just too afraid to admit it, but the fear is gone. The doubt is dead. The excuses have run out. And now, in this moment, something is shifting. The energy between you is changing. The silence is becoming charged with anticipation. The waiting is becoming arresting. The hopping is becoming a knowing. You know they are coming. Not because you have proof, because you can feel it, because the shift has already happened in the spirit, because the return is already in motion in the unseen, and what is happening in the unseen will soon become visible in the seen. So do not lose heart in the final stretch. Do not let the enemy of your peace convince you that nothing has changed. Everything has changed. The doubt is gone, the fear is fading, the courage is rising, and they are finding their way back to you, not because you are lucky, because you are loved, not because you are perfect, because you are real, not because you chased, because you stayed in your light, and your light has become the brightest thing in their darkness. Now, before you close this message, I want you to do one final thing. I want you to place your hand over your heart. Feel it beating. That rhythm is the sound of a life that has not given up. That is the sound of hope. That is the sound of faith. That is the sound of a heart that is ready to receive. Now say these words out loud, softly, like a promise to yourself, like a vow you are finally ready to keep. I am ready, not because I have all the answers, because I trust the one who does. I am ready to receive, not because I deserve it, because it is mine. I am ready to love, not because I am not afraid, because I am willing to risk. The doubt is gone. The return is in motion. The message is on its way, and love is finally finding its way home. To me, for me, with me. I am ready. I receive it. I say yes. Say it again. Let it land. Let it settle into the places where fear has been living. Let it push out the anxiety, the what-ifs, the endless circling thoughts. You are held, you are loved, you are not alone, and someone somewhere in the quiet of their own journey is finding their way back to you, not because they have to, because they have finally realized that they want to, that they need to, that they cannot be truly alive without you. So rest, not because everything is resolved, because you have done your part. You have waited, you have hoped. You have stayed open even when closing seemed safer. You have trusted even when trusting felt foolish. That is enough. That is more than enough. The rest is in God's hands, and God's hands are the safest place for anything to be. Close your eyes, let your body relax. Let your mind quiet. Let your heart rest in the knowledge that you are loved, that you are seen, that you are not forgotten, and that something beautiful is already on its way to you. You are not alone in this room tonight. You have never been alone. The same God who has been working behind the scenes of your life is with you right now, closer than your breath, closer than your heartbeat. He is not distant. He is not distracted. He is not disappointed in you. He is here, and he is smiling because he knows what is coming. He knows who is coming, and he cannot wait for you to see it. The doubt is gone. The return is in motion. The message is on its way, and love has finally found its way home. Go in peace. You are ready. You have always been ready, and what is coming is greater than anything you have seen before. Amen.